toast. Come on. This week we explore music and sound design on Creating Fear 101. Hello, it's me, Jason, and you're watching Creating Fear 101. Coming at you live from my bedroom. The lighting's awesome in here. Sound is the very first form of tension that we can experience. We can hear before we can see. In the early days of cinema, silent films were augmented by pit orchestras. They provided the suspense when we couldn't record audio to film. Now, brilliant directors and sound engineers are using all kinds of futuristic gadgets and systems and programs to scare the living hell out of you with sound. Now, I'm going to show you the same scene 3 times, and I'm going to create 3 different auditory experiences for you. And I'm going to use 3 different soundtracks. Let me know what you think, and let me know how it made you feel down in the comments below. So why is it that sometimes sound is the villain in a horror movie? Well, it has to do with a few things. The first being the weight of sound. Sound does have weight. It may not be a physical weight that we can measure with a scale, but when we talk about the weight or the gravity of a tone or a note or a combination of notes, we're talking about how it feels when it hits our ears and is then processed by our brain and then felt by our bodies. There are tones that can make you feel happy. There are tones that can make you feel sad. There are tones that can make you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. And brilliant directors and sound engineers use all of these to create feelings out of thin air. Sound design is so effective at manipulating mood, emotion, even perception of different characters in the same movie. If you just change the music that a character enters with, you completely change the audience's perception of that character without even changing the mode that the character is currently in. Now, some of you will recognize this sound. That sound is a 4-note melody known as the Dies Irae. The use of this 4-note melody can be traced back nearly 800 years. And it had one use: funerals. Throughout the ages, it was adapted into many different symphonies and requiems of different amazing, legendary composers. But then the film industry got a hold of it. First used in 1927 in a film called Metropolis. The German expressionistic science fiction film, directed by Fritz Lang, was silent, so the soundtrack was provided by Pit Orchestra. Later used in several different films, not all horror, but I bet a lot of you remember this. That's the opening to The Shining. The Dies Irae is the first 4 notes you hear. It sets the tone for the entire movie in the first 10 seconds. The Dies Irae is used throughout cinema in any genre you can think of where tension and feelings of dread and sadness and foreboding need to be communicated. There are several horror films out there that take advantage of sound to augment the fear. Halloween would just be another masked guy chasing down young co-eds if it wasn't for his iconic theme. It adds to the mysterious nature of what drives Michael Myers to kill. In fact, Steven Spielberg credits the success of Jaws largely to its sound design. The shark didn't work for most of the shoot, and he was forced to find creative ways to scare his audience. And I don't think there is a horror fan out there that will forget this one. That's the music to The Exorcist, and it's forever ingrained in my brain, as I'm sure it is yours too. However, music alone just doesn't get the job done. There's a very, very special group of people out there. Without them, we wouldn't know what it sounds like to splash into a big puddle, or throw a frisbee through the air, or what a skull sounds like when it's fractured by a sledgehammer. That's right, I'm talking about Foley artists. Foley artists are the unsung heroes of the movie industry. They create sounds that otherwise couldn't be picked up or wouldn't exist. Every time you hear a bone break, every time a gun is shot, and every time a punch is thrown, there's someone in a studio somewhere creating that sound. Check it out. Foley artists use a combination of real-world sounds and created in-studio sounds to augment the action on screen. And it can get pretty crazy. Foley artists use anything in their environment to create the sound that they need, from celery sticks to bags of flour to old boots that they throw down the stairs. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Creating Fear 101. Again, my name is Jason. Leave me a comment down below if you'd like to hear me do a specific topic. Also, give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you horror fanatics on the next one. Bye.